So there's a term that's been thrown around a lot lately, which I think is a very useful term. And it's a popular way to look at kind of, the term is stackable credentials, and it's really thinking about things building upon, training, building upon training and experience. So a person can develop over time a series of credentials that can lead them, for further professional development, and also for further being able to earn more money and access to other jobs. So what we did was we gave you an example, which is one that we can all see some, the visual here, of a starting point that someone may have and some ways that they may expand either upward or outward or downward. They can add on to what they have. So someone, for example, could have been a volunteer EMT in their community, working on the ambulance in their community, and may have decided from that they really like working in the health field, and then go on for an licensed nursing assistant program and become licensed as an LNA. They now have a program in Vermont where you can also take an additional training and become a medication nurse's assistant. So you earn more money and you have more skills and you're able to do more things in your LNA role. But then there's also some other areas that people might expand into. Medical assisting, and there are formal programs in Vermont, but there's also informal on-the-job types of medical assisting programs. And people can focus more either on clinical or administrative or both. In many medical offices, people have to do both. So CCV, for example, does have certificates in clinical and medical and administrative medical assisting. But there's also other ways to get to the same goal. And then many people we find who are LNAs or medical assistants decide they really want to move on to becoming a licensed practical nurse, and then beyond that to registered nurse, and then maybe beyond that. But sometimes when people are involved in administrative health type of work, they might want to pursue medical billing and coding, which is another certification that is a national certification that can be pursued through either a formal program, or sometimes people can study on their own and still pass the exam. So this is just one example of how things can stack upon one another and expand the person's opportunities. I'm sure Susie has, but I've worked with many people who have gone from one of these right up through 2 or 3 or 4 of these types of expanded career opportunities. And then phlebotomy, of course, can be something that will enhance many of these different aspects of healthcare. So anything you'd like to add, Susie, to that?
Just one, I think, real benefit of thinking about stackable credentials and career pathways is that there's the opportunity for the student as well in a model such as this to start out with something like an LNA class prior to maybe getting into nursing school, to get a feel for really what some of the more challenging parts of the job might be. And that, so it's a shorter term training. They get hands-on experience with patient care, working in a clinical setting. And I've known a number of people who've taken that class who've loved being an LNA and decided it's their stopping point. Others who've decided, I'm ready for more, I want to move on. And then just as important, students who say, I've learned I really don't want to work in this setting. And they've decided on a different career path. And what a smart decision that is for them before they jump into nursing school, which is a big time and financial commitment. And so there are multiple benefits across the board for doing a path like this. One other thought that I'd really like to highlight here is some of the great partnerships that have led to stackable credentials and career pathways like this really being successful for students. A lot of my experience is down here in Southern Vermont, but we have such a great partnership between Vermont Technical College and Community College of Vermont, offering pieces all along this pathway in partnership with each other around either taking the LNA course, maybe they would start with the LNA course at Vermont Technical College and then go to CCV for prerequisites for nursing school, and then go back to Vermont Technical College for that nursing school. And with the advisors and the students feeling a really smooth flow between the different programs to be able to make the connections to make it work. So that's been a really positive step I've seen down here in Southern Vermont.